Having spaced repetition, active recall, and a revision timetable all in one workspace has really helped me out as an academic. Being able to see how many cards are due today, how many cards I have in total, and having the cards flexible as to whether I know them or whether I need to revise them is also really handy. If this is something you're interested to learn, stick around and I'll tell you how. Hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell to stay part of the conversation. A quick disclaimer at the beginning of this video: if you're not familiar with relational databases, rollups, or formulas, this may get quite confusing quite quickly, so I suggest having a look at these videos just so you have an understanding of what is going on. The foundation of this workspace is two databases, a topic database and a flashcards database. The first thing we're going to do is create a relation between the two databases. I like to label them the database they're related to so I don't forget where it's going. In the topics database, you'd list all the topics, so if you've got specific modules, put the modules down there. If you've got areas of development or areas of learning, put those down there. Books, podcasts, anything like that. Anything that has flashcards related to that one topic, that's what you'd put in there. Then in the flashcards, they are all of the questions that you'll have. That means the flashcard database is the one that's probably going to get the biggest. Now, just so that we have the properties in place, I'm going to create the two rollups in the topics database now, but I'm going to leave out the actual functionality of the rollup until later. In the flashcards database, I'm going to add a date wrong property, which is just a manual date selection. I'm now going to add a select property, but I'm going to use the multi-select just so I can get through all of these numbers quickly. And then once I've done all of that, I'm going to change it into a select column. Now we're going to add in our first formula column, which we're going to name review date. And then we're going to add in our second formula column, which we're going to label showing. Now that we have pretty much all the properties in the databases done, I'm just going to put in some of the relations. I personally wrap the text in all the databases so it doesn't look too cluttered and everything is just on one row. And for date wrong, what I'm going to do is put in today's date because it's the first date that we've created it, and then I'm going to put it as stage 1 because I've just put the card in, we've just made the card, so I haven't revised it at all yet. Now the review date formula is kind of the guts of the spaced repetition, and the formula can look quite long and intimidating, so I'll go over more in depth about how the formula works later on in the video for those of you that are keen Notion nerds like myself. But for a very quick explanation of what this column does, I'm going to use the if formula and ask if the card is at stage 2, then add 1 day to the date that it was wrong. So the stage represents how good we are at that card. Stage 1 basically means it's a completely new card or we've literally just got it wrong. Stage 2 is we've just got it right. And if we've just got the card right, then I want it to show up tomorrow, i.e. the next day. So if it's stage 2 and we've just got it right, show me the next day. If we got it wrong and it's stage 1, then show me the date that I got it wrong, which would be today. So as you can see, the last date that we got it wrong is actually today because that's the day we added it, and we're stage 1. So the review date is today. If we were to then go on that card and get the card right, we'd then move it to stage 2. What that then does is add 1 day to the date wrong. So now review date is the 23rd because it's added 1 day to the 22nd. Now we're going to go into the showing formula box. And for this formula, we're just going to ask, is the review date smaller than or equal to now? So if that is true, then we need to review the card either today or we should have reviewed it yesterday. If it's not true, then we need to review it in the future. So as you can see, the bottom 2 review dates are today, so we need to do that card today. So if we change the date wrong to yesterday, the review date would have been yesterday, but that's still smaller than today, which means we still need to revise it now. If we then change the stage to 2, The review date is now today rather than yesterday, but we still need to review it. So we could have got that card wrong yesterday, then reviewed it and got it right yesterday. Now we need to review it again today to see if we can still remember the answer. Now that we've done the first 2 stages, everything else is kind of a case of copy and paste and then change a couple of the numbers. So if we go into the formula and copy that whole first bit and then paste it, I'm now going to put another close bracket at the end because now we have 3 functions. I'm going to change the stage to 3. And I actually need to put the if in because I didn't copy that bit. If it's stage 2, add 1 date to the day I was wrong. If not, then check if it is stage 3. If it is, add 3 days to the date it was wrong. If not, put in the date that I was wrong. So now we've got the 22nd, stage 3, 25th. So if we got it right on the 22nd, we wouldn't have to review the card until the 25th. Those of you familiar with how I use Notion will probably know that I prefer using the gallery view. So I'm going to change all of these properties into a gallery view, looking at them as flashcards. This is very similar to what I did in the active recall video over here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to filter by showing, so it's only going to show me the cards that are due to be revised. And I can put my answer to the flashcard in the page. If I get it right, I can change the stage, and now it won't be showing, which means it would disappear from the gallery view. Now I'm going to go up to the topics database, go into the card amounts rollup, flashcards, name, and then count all. What this is basically doing is counting all of the flashcards in that topic. So if you've got more flashcards in one topic, maybe that's a bigger topic or a bigger module, so you may need to spend more time revising that specific topic. I'm now going to go into the due date rollup, relation with the flashcards, property showing, and then calculate the checked box. Now it's going to show me all of the cards that I have to revise today, or I should have revised. So you can see in topic 1 we've got question 1 and question 2. Question 1 I don't need to revise, but question 2 I do. So we've got 2 cards in total, and one of them is due. There's 1 card in topic 2, but that's not due, and there's 1 card in topic 3, but that's not due either. I'm now going to go to the bottom of the database and just do a simple sum, so I can see all of the cards that I have, and all of the cards that are due. So on any day I can see the total amount of cards, and the total amount of cards due that I need to revise for that day. So when you go in to use the flashcards and you answer the question, if you get it right, you can obviously put the stage up, and if you get it wrong, you change the date wrong and then put the stage back to 1. Now that I've got that one right, there is no more cards due. That is pretty much all of the features involved in the workspace, but what we need to do is go back to the formula and actually put in the rest of the stages. So we're going to copy that function again, go stage 4, and add in our time. Now it's adding 7 days to that date that was wrong. And of course we need to do that for all 10 stages. The number that you put in related to the stage is dependent on how frequent you want the card to reoccur. So for me, I chose a doubling difference. So we go 0 the first day, then 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256. So stage 1 will be the same day. Stage 2, I want it the next day. Stage 3, I want it 2 days after the last time I got it right. Stage 4, 4 days after. Stage 5, 8 days after, etc, etc. Now the numbers in the formula aren't going to represent 0, 1, 2, 4, etc. because we're actually adding on from the previous addition to date that was wrong. So the number of days that you added to the previous stage, you add that number to the amount of days you want it to show in the future. So we added 1 day for stage 2 and we want to show it 2 days in the future, so we go 1 add 2 makes 3. For stage 4 we need to add the days that we added for stage 3, which is 3, and add that to 4 because we want it to show 4 days in the future, which makes 3 add 4 to 7. Then for stage 5 we're going to use the days added for stage 4, which is 7, and add that to the amount of days we want it in the future, which is 8, so 8 adds 7, which is 15. You can add more stages if you want it to be further than 256 days. You can change that difference as much as you want. You can make it 2.5, you can make it 1, you can change how frequently things appear. You just need to change the numbers that you put into the formula. I use similar formulas with my recurring tasks, and if that's something you're interested to hear about, check out this video over here. I'll see you there.